All right. Good evening to those of you on the East Coast. Good evening also to those of you on the West Coast. Welcome to Targaryen Collective Codex, a House of the Dragon live watch. I'm your host, Brandon Troy, co-creator of Movers and Shakers Unlimited. And here we are. We are at the finish line. We are at the season finale of House of the Dragon. Excited to see what comes of our different factions and all the all the conniving that has been happening all season and see what comes of it. So let's get it started. And mind you, I also play the replays or say the recaps, if you will. So I may not start exactly at 9 o'clock. I'll probably start roughly at 9:05. So just so you're aware, roughly, if you want to be synced into exactly where I am. What's going on, Scott? And then also add to that the ads, of course, as well. So unfortunately, at least at the top. And if we have any other folks joining us, just let me know where you guys are watching from. I know I've had some interesting, reveals. I had some folks from Sri Lanka, some from Ghana, some from Ireland, apparently. So it's always fascinating to see, what folks are watching because I know you guys are in a way different time zone than I am. So, all right. So now we're in our recap. So it's been interesting thus far what they've managed to adapt and what they decided to include and what they decided not to include. If memory serves, the battles are that they are adapting right now for this episode are last a bit longer, if I recall. But just for the sake of brevity and the amount of mileage that they have to tell these stories, I would imagine that they'll condense it all into the season finale since we only have one season left. So we'll see. All right, recap over. Let's do this. And folks, I also do not skip the intro. I enjoy the intro too, so bear with me. I also watch the intro too. Yeah, I know, Scott. Like that's the downside with a lot of these shows. So some of these shows have incredible budgets, but considering the amount of budgets and how much effects are involved with a lot of these shows, I think of Rings of Power too. That's the only downside to having such incredible shows is that a lot of these shows that are so epic in scale and require so much preparation to make, you have to wait 2 years to get the continuation of the story. And I know how that can go sometimes because so much can happen within 2 years with other shows that you're watching. So a lot of times you can forget what happened in the last season. So sometimes, uh, I don't know for those folks of you out there, but I like to at least maybe a day before watching the new season, I'll try to do like a binge watch of the prior season. So that way it's like fresh in my head. Cause I mean, as I said, there's so many incredible shows out there. So it's very easy to forget, oh, these are where the characters are. Oh, I don't remember, them ending up in this part of the story. I don't remember them having this interaction with this character. When was this character introduced? Oh, yeah, they were introduced here. So, but here we go. So News Vagon. So again, we're getting Damon be acting as that evil shoulder on Rhaenyra's decision making. But I have to be fair, there were some instances where had she gone with Damon's route, they could have avoided some of the problems that they currently have. So Ormond being one of them. Wow, so she's actually giving Damon what he wanted, which is go to Tumbleton and root out all the high towers. It's too bad she didn't ask him to do it earlier, because I feel like that would have been the better decision. Because I don't, I don't like him going to Tumbleton. I don't like how that's going to play out. But it was your fault that Corliss was out there. Wow. Wow, insolence is in your blood. She's antagonizing all the people around her, which I don't know if is really, playing into what she's going to need at this point in terms of allies. It's unfortunate. A lot of those seeds were planted, though. She didn't acknowledge Corliss's heirs, but to be fair, Corliss didn't acknowledge his heirs when he could have acknowledged them long ago. It'll be interesting to see how now that Darren is knighted, how his dragon's going to fare, because it is a younger, smaller dragon. So I was curious to see how it manages against the other dragons, even though we know there's something else afoot based off of our prior episode. So Elena apparently is still avoiding food, even though we know that she is with child. Will this be the episode in which we, have that iconic moment with her character, or maybe they'll wait until the beginning of the next season? Even though I am very much leaning towards that being a part of this finale, but we'll see. We shall see. Wow, she got let go? Especially after what happened last episode, she got let go? I can't believe it. Oh yeah, she's definitely going with the greens. There's no way. Wait, I'm getting some deja vu from that dream. Think she is too. So Alice sharing a little bit of her history as well. Yeah, I think that moment with Helena is going to happen this episode. I will find it hard to believe if they don't do it on the season finale, based on that interaction that she just had with Rhaenyra. If there's any new folks here joining us, welcome to the live watch. If you're watching right now, I'd love to know if you are, and also where you guys are hailing from while you're watching the show. Love to know where you're watching from. All right. I have some deja vu of Jace happening here. Trying to hide behind Corliss. I am gonna say I am surprised that he isn't staying on this dragon, knowing how ruthless Damon is. But
both lead to the same end.
Coolest being the only one that makes sense and utilizing everything that they have at their disposal and being diplomatic and pragmatic. But I think the one part that they forgot is that Damon would be pushed aside if they decide to go with this decision of Darren and Rhaenyra. We all know Damon ain't going for that. So had they listened to Corlys, might be avoiding what might come to pass with some of our dragon seeds. So I'm guessing some of the ruthlessness and how they deal with Tumbleton is going to affect a lot of our dragon seeds and how they move forward in the story. Oh snap! Is Vagar back? Sunfire. I forgive you, brother. That's definitely going to be a meme. I'm alive. Okay, Aemon, or say Aegon. So he has some compassion regarding Aemon, but he also has some tact about him and some strategy about him. Before, he was kind of wet behind the ears and didn't seem to have, any type of strategy or plans about him whatsoever. But lo and behold, how circumstances can change. If you're joining once again, let me know. How are you enjoying the season finale so far? So far, pretty good, at least on my end. Maybe you guys feel differently. You're not to open until you open the gate. Open gate, then die. No, she's not gonna have him kill him. Hope not. Wow. Wow, he did it. Oh, that's gonna come back to haunt him. Wow. So if you don't do it willingly, she will force you to acknowledge her. Wow, I know they're not going to have her have the speech over the destruction of Tumbleton over a dragon fire. That would be wild. That would be wild. So we'll see if that comes to pass, if that's what they're doing right here. And like, what is she talking about? Even though we know this is going to come to pass, I'm sure for those who are not aware of this quote unquote prophecy, thinks that she's losing her mind. So I don't know if this is the best strategy of her sharing this prophecy. Meanwhile, as he gets on his dragon and gets off his horse, while they run into battle. Indeed, Scott. Indeed. Here we go. So it looks like the secret plan isn't going according to plan, but I have a feeling that he's still going to come through in the clutch. And they have to make it, of course, more dramatic by having him come in the 11th hour. I was about to say, did Darren go out there with his dragon? Wow, even a Tumbleton, folks, yeah, he's not going to really distinguish between either. So yeah, he's going to take out everybody. Jeez. Guess someone had a couple of too many drinks. Now the question is he going to do it? Now after he had that, that moment with Orman, I wonder if they're going to have what's his name, Hugh, take on that moment from Ulf, because something, I'm guessing, may happen to his significant other. So maybe he may take over that role in that moment that Ulf is supposed to take on in the series. So that way they're not doing a 1-for-1 adaptation. Trying to be as vague as possible without getting into spoilers based on what I know from the original source material, but we'll see. Oh, maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe Ulf will still have his moment. Wow. Yep. Of course, it's like, forget everybody. Forget the greens, forget the blacks. I'm on my own team. Like, everybody's lost their ever loving mind. Oh shit. But boy, yeah, the character. Oh wow. That moment with Orman in the blood, man. Oh wow, Damon got some plot armor there. Some plot armor. Rock saved him. If you're just joining us now, welcome. Let me know where you're watching from and how you've been enjoying this final sequence of the season finale of season 3 of House of the Dragon. This destruction of Tumbleton is not going to go off. It's going to go off well. Even if they manage to smoke out the high towers. Add to that, of course, the recent, speech that Rhaenyra has about being like prophesized as the ruler that needs to that is supposed to come to pass. Yeah, all the optics between what's happening here at Tumbleton and her speech is not really going to make things look good for her. All right, Ormond gone, confirmed. But his wife, Hugh's wife. Uh oh. Yep, it happened. It definitely happened. Wow. I have a feeling that now Allison is going to be ruthless going into this season. Hey, I'm sorry. She's going to be ruthless going into next season. Wow, no emotion. She just closed the door like, okay, all right, cool. You know, one less threat that I have to deal with. So yeah, she's become far more. She's now a little bit more ruthless than what we anticipated she would be at the beginning of the season. And what Allison said came to pass. She told her, "Hey, you know, now that you're in this position, you're going to be forced to make decisions that you're not going to feel great about." And lo and behold, look where we are. So a lot of things to look forward to. We have those different factions of the Greens that are coming together. We have our two brothers. Apparently, I guess they're going to put aside their differences and make their way back to King's Landing. We still have Allison out there. She's going to have a score to settle because now that Helena is gone, I feel like Helena was the only thing that was keeping her back from doing a lot of the crazy decisions that she would make. But now that she doesn't have Rhaenyra, and now the only people that she has are Aemon and Aegon, she's probably just going to be equally as ruthless because she's not going to really have that conscience or that figure in her life that's kind of holding her back, telling her like, "Hey, like, don't do this." She's not going to have that particular figure holding her back anymore because we know Aegon and Aemon are nowhere near at the level of compassion as Helena. But I will say, Aegon did surprise me in that moment that he had with Aemon, where he isn't the Aegon that we had prior to the incident that transpired with his dragon. He's, you know, has a bit more compassion. If I could put if we're talking about like a smidge more compassion than what he had before, based on what he's experienced thus far in the journey that he has had this entire season. So a lot of things to look forward to. I do like how they were able to, you know, bring all the things together. As I said, the first season was kind of choppy because they were trying to, you know, establish a lot of things. Season two, it was starting to get its footing. You could notice that it was happening, but then we had that moment where it just abruptly ended. So I kind of feel like it got its momentum broken in that regard. But this season, all in all, has been pretty, you know, pretty solid. You know, it's been pretty good in terms of how it was paced and them, you know, moving the story along and having a nice opener for the season, but also having a satisfying end to the season. So hopefully they're able to stick the landing. As I said, I know season 4, from what I understand, will be the last season. So hopefully they are able to stick the landing. I know it's really hard to end a lot of shows when you know, have a couple of seasons going. So hopefully they're able to do it this go around. So that's going to wrap it up for Targaryen Collective Codex, the House of the Dragon live watch. I'm your host, Brandon Choi. You can find me at Brandon Choi ENT on X and then Brandon Choi _ENT on Instagram. Thank you guys so much for watching. Be safe out there. And till next season, y'all. Peace.